Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Extra Time TV. Once again, the round of 16, and we're going to speak about Lyon versus Barcelona.
Yes.
So Kevon, what do you think about this matchup?
Andrew, we're going to talk about the Spanish Giants now. We're going to start in Barcelona. But in this encounter, the Catalan Giants travel not too far to Lyon. And Andrew, this matchup, in the past you think Lyon versus Barcelona. Not great Lyon team of the last decade.
Yes.
It's not so much present, but it's still going to be a good encounter. Why? Because Lyon, they have some World Cup winners.
Yes.
And they have a team that is really brimming with confidence. And they're doing well in Ligue 1. They recently defeated PSG in Ligue 1, backed by Nabil Fekir, who is an absolutely great player. I mean, fantastic left foot, great creativity in behind the forwards. And for Lyon, they have to capitalize on their home form for this first game in France, because Barcelona, they come into the game, top of La Liga. They're playing well, but not as good as we know that they could play. But for Lyon, they need to get the ball up front to Fekir and try to play in the likes of Dembele, Traore, and if Memphis Depay is having a good game, play him in too, because Depay can be a bit iffy, he can be lackadaisical sometimes, and sometimes play world class. So if he's on form, then Barca could have a problem. And at the back for Lyon, you have Jason Denayer, the Belgian centre back, who plays quite well, and the stalwart in goal, Portuguese goalkeeper. So Lyon steady, but I don't think they are good enough.
Yep, you know, this Barcelona team is not the all-conquering Barcelona from before. Last season, I told a lot of people we were the only ones to show that Roma were going to take them out. We could probably say that. And I think this Barcelona team is kind of riding their luck. They're far from perfect. A lot of their signings, I'm not overly happy with. I think they've gone away from what made them successful, which is, having some very shrewd youth players coming up to the ranks.
But Andre, Kevin Prince Boateng, isn't he good?
Yeah, Kevin Prince Boateng, we spoke about this guy.
He's a rapper.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm probably has some stuff on iTunes, so check that out.
Yeah.
The Prince, K to the B, Tang, whatever, I don't know. But this guy...
Mr. Tang.
Yeah, K Tang. But this guy essentially is a very interesting signing. I mean, I'm trying to understand the thought process behind it. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on EXTV Live. I'm guessing it's for the aerial prowess and maybe to add some sort of, some lyrics or some dope beats to the Barcelona attack. But all jokes aside, Barcelona haven't really looked, like a complete team for a couple seasons now. I'm still not convinced that their centre back pairings are really in sync. Their wing backs look okay now. Messi has bailed them out many times, including last year in the Champions League. When they played Chelsea, I honestly thought they were lucky against Chelsea. Chelsea looked like they were scared. I think if Chelsea played with confidence, they could have hurt them. And we said that if somebody really attacked Barcelona and their back four, they could hurt them. Roma did that, and we saw what happened. And I think they're still not there yet. I think there's a heavy reliance on Messi. It's very evident now when Messi does not play, that Barcelona team is very different. So, if I were, Memphis and those guys, and speaking about Memphis, this is a guy that I really admired before he went to England. And then, I call him the Katy Perry of transfers. Kevon described him perfectly. This guy could be amazing and really terrible. Yeah. You don't know what guy's going to turn up. So, I think if they find a way to, it sounds like a recurring theme, but if they find a way to neutralize Messi, take him out, and tighten things up at the back, I think they have a chance. They could fancy their chances if they run on that Barcelona backline, because that Barcelona backline is far from watertight. I really am not convinced. This is not a Barcelona team that's going to win the Champions League. If they're going to win the Champions League, they're going to have to heavily rely on offense and their midfield doing the job. So I think, of course, this is not Lyon used to be Real Madrid's biggest nightmare for many years. The days of, Juninho and young Benzema and those guys.
Yeah, that was Sidney Govou, those guys.
Lovely team.
Really good.
A lot of superstars came out of that team.
SCN, yeah. Too much to call. Yeah.
Too much to call. And Real Madrid actually bought a couple of those players. But, Kevon, I think this game may be a bit closer. And honestly, not to sound cliche, I think Messi may be the difference. A healthy Messi will probably make the difference in this game. I actually think if Messi does not play, it may not be that one-sided show that people think it's going to be. So Messi is going to be the key difference. I know that sounds like a cliche response, but based on the La Liga form, yes, they're on top of the league, but they're far from convincing for me.
Yeah. And Andre, I'm most intrigued about seeing what lineup Ernesto Valverde plays in Lyon, because
Prince.
He often goes with 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. And I think that the only discretion is between Dembele and Coutinho.
Yeah.
One will play. If it's 4-4-2, he usually goes with Coutinho in behind Suarez and Messi. If it's 4-3-3, Dembele would play on the wing.
Yep.
And you have Arthur and Busquets and Rakitic in the middle. So it all depends on what he thinks should happen. If he thinks that Lyon will come onto them, he'll be a bit more counter-attacking and maybe play Dembele in his native France to ping them on the counter.
Yep.
Or if you think it's more possession-based, Coutinho will play, and Coutinho has been getting better. He started off great, then really nosedive, but he's getting a bit better now.
Yep.
So let's hope that Phil gets his act together and plays well in France.
Phil, I love it, it's simple to the point. I like it. A lot of people have been getting on his back. I still think he's a quality player, but a lot of people like to take cheap shots at La Liga, but he's probably feeling the heat. La Liga is a whole different game. The defenders, in my mind, and I know this is definitely going to fan some flames a bit. I think sometimes the actual quality of the center backs in La Liga is people don't give them the credit they deserve. It's not as easy to do the classic Phil move, cut in and just swing in with his left foot or whatever. But if he has a good game and he really gets a strong finish to the season, it will definitely help them in the Champions League. But he hasn't been performing, and I think it's definitely going to play into the hands of Lyon. They're definitely going to fancy their chances. I think with all those players he mentioned, it still goes back to Leo, the little magician. He has become a completely more all-round player for Barcelona, and it really is how Ernesto decides he wants to set them up. And I'm quite interested to see this, because I really don't think it's going to go all Barcelona's way, and I think it may be a tricky first tie. And I think Barcelona is going to have to work hard for this result.
Yeah, don't forget Lyon defeated Man City in this year's Champions League.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. If you want to check out more, look at this video. And don't forget to click the subscribe button, because when you do, one of your enemies will be destroyed.